We're reviewing right now one of the most affordable electrified vehicles available in the Philippines today, the 2023 Nissan Kicks. So as I mentioned earlier, the Nissan Kicks is one of the most affordable electrified vehicles available in our market today. And this one that we have here is a 2023 Nissan Kicks e-Power VE, and it's priced at 1,309,000 Philippine pesos. And it's the mid-variant, by the way. And then now looking at the exterior, as you can see, we have a really sleek design right here. And that's what I really love about it. This is made possible by the very long LED headlights, full LED headlights, by the way. So we have the low beams, high beams, DRLs, turn signals, all are LED. Then we have the very big, the large V-motion grille right here with the Nissan logo right in the middle, which houses the radar for your autonomous emergency braking and forward collision warning. Then right down here, we have this plastic piece right here. This is supposed to house the LED fog lights for the VL variant, but in this case we don't have them because mid-variant lang to, but still we don't really need it. And then moving towards the side, if you follow me right here, we have more of that sleek look, but as you notice, we have a high roof, so this really translates to really good space on the interior. And we also have this floating roof design. We have blacked out C pillar, blacked out A pillar, but I did notice that this part here is just wrapped. It's not really blacked out like that piece over there, the plastic piece. Then here we have 17-inch alloy wheels wrapped in 205/55 Dunlop and the safe tires. And nothing really special for the tires, but the wheels themselves look really nice. Then power folding side mirrors with LED indicators and the e-Power badge on the door, telling everyone that you have e-Power, something to be proud of, right? And then moving towards the back, it's nothing really special, honestly, compared to the front. It's not really that sleek. It kind of looks a bit more dated, even if it's a new car for the Philippines, but still, it looks good. Then we have right here full LED taillights, so full LED headlights and full LED taillights. And it also has this arrow pattern right here, which looks really good, especially at night. And like on the side, we have here the e-Power badge. Be proud that you have an electrified car. Then opening the tailgate, this reveals around 400 liters of space, more than that. And I was able to fit here a large piece of luggage, a medium-sized one, and two small ones. So this is a really practical car, and also more bags, by the way. Then under the floor, we have our tire repair kit. So unfortunately, we don't have a spare tire right here. And this is one of the complaints of people who have seen the Kicks in person. But anyway, folding the second rows of seats down doubles the space to over 800 liters. And now we can step inside. So now we're inside the Nissan Kicks, and first let's start the electric motor. So as you can see, no sound. It's really quiet right here. And so now we can talk about the interior. Everything here looks very simple, actually. It's not like the exterior, which looks really sleek. The interior is more on the simple side, especially when it comes to materials, because we have hard touch plastic on the doors. Everything on the door is hard touch plastic. All the dashboard, top of the dashboard is all hard touch plastic. Pero bumawi naman sila with this soft touch leather portion right here. And again, it's like the Nissan Almera. And noticeably, since this is the VE variant, we lose some of the piano black pieces right here, like in the aircon vents, which is now just a normal black plastic. But we still have this one right here in the center console, which, by the way, has some kind of pearl finish. It has like, it's like crystals when it's lit by the sun. So moving on, for the steering wheel, we have the usual Nissan steering wheel, same as what we find in the Terra, Navara, Almera, but with a very nice leather material still, even if this is the mid-variant. We also have our audio controls on the left and our cruise controls on the right. And then for the horn, it's just a normal Japanese car horn. And also, this is tilt and telescopic, which is really nice. Then moving on to the gauge cluster, we have a traditional analog speedometer and a 7-inch screen on the left, which shows us our warnings. We have here also, just press that, our energy flow meter, which has two kinds actually, and then other information which we usually find in these kinds of screens, such as fuel economy, trip computer, and our settings for the vehicle. And then moving on to the center, we have an 8-inch Nissan Connect touchscreen infotainment system, one of the best in the business really, and it's really responsive. And of course, it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But one thing I did notice is that if you press the camera button, it tells you the vehicle is not equipped with a camera system. So yeah, this has no cameras, 360 cam, reverse cam. This car doesn't come with that. And instead of removing the camera button, it's still here, and it'll tell you that you didn't get the camera, unfortunately. Then moving down, we have single zone automatic climate control, which is really nice because you have knobs and buttons and a small display in the middle. And then moving further down, 2 USB ports, one USB-C, one USB-A. Our electronic parking brake with auto hold, the same one we find in the Mitsubishi Expander. Space for your phone right over there. Then our start-stop button, drive modes, and our EV mode toggle. Then moving further, we have our electronic shifter. This is probably the most futuristic thing about this car. Everything's simple, but this one is not. It's not complicated as well because it's very easy to use. So to put it in drive, just pull back. To put it on B mode, just put it back again. Put it on neutral, just push it a bit. And to put it on park, just press P. Reverse, of course, all the way forward. And by the way, when you put it in reverse, it makes this really cute, or well, some say spooky sound, just to warn people that you're coming in reverse. And over here, we have 2 cup holders, which are adjustable, by the way. And if you'll notice, under them, we have an Easter egg, some footprints, and it really matches the car's name. Kicks, shoes, footprints. Galing, diba? Then, in the center here, we have a small storage area underneath the center armrest, which can fit our wallet, face mask, ganon. Then, for the seats, we have Nissan's zero gravity seats, which are still one of the best seats in the segment, and actually, pretty much all mainstream vehicles. These are one of the best seats, and they're wrapped in fabric for this variant with blue accents, which matches the exterior, which, by the way, the blue exterior color is called Riptide Blue, and it's unique to this variant. It's special for this variant. You can only get it on the VE. So now let's check out the rear seats. And now we're here at the second row of the Nissan Kicks, and honestly, there's really not much to see over here, but we still do have a really good amount of space right here. So headroom for me is really good. I'm about 5 feet and 7 inches. Legroom is also really good, although you can feel the hump underneath the front seats for the battery. And then knee room, also really good. And we have 2 back pockets, 2 USB ports. Unfortunately, we don't have rear air vents, but there's a small cabin, so it's okay. Then there's also no center armrest right here, and space. Going back to the space, 3 passengers can fit here, 3 adult passengers, but it will be a bit tight. It's best here for 2 people, especially since we have a narrow middle center seat and a hump right here. Then materials are still the same, hard touch plastics and fabric here on the door. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the second row. We can go get on the road. Now we're driving the Nissan Kicks e-Power VE, and really this isn't my first time to drive the Nissan Kicks. This is actually my second time because I drove it together with Nissan and other media from Manila to Bicol and back. That was around 600 kilometers or more of driving, and I gotta say that right now I really still love this car, and driving is one of the best things about it. So first, let's talk about what's under the hood. So under the hood of the Nissan Kicks, all variants, is a 1.2 liter 3-cylinder naturally aspirated gasoline engine, but that does not power the wheels. That only charges the battery of this car, specifically the electric motor, which makes this feel like a full electric vehicle when you're driving it. To be exact, this powertrain combination for the e-Power produces 136 horsepower and 280 newton meters of torque, and that is paired to a what they call a single-speed gear reduction. When it comes to acceleration, that's one of the best things about this car, because really it feels like a full electric vehicle because we have instant torque at 0 RPM. So that 280 newton meters I told you earlier actually comes in as early as 0 RPM. So the moment you put down your foot on the pedal, you get all that torque right away. And if I'm being honest, this car is not that fast. It actually, I think it goes from 0 to 100 in around 10 seconds, which is pretty much standard for many other vehicles available in the market. But it feels very quick, that's for sure, especially because all that torque comes in at 0 RPM. So we have that 280 newton meters of torque, and all of that comes in right away, just like it would in a full electric vehicle. And you can really feel, so it's actually really fun to drive, because the moment you put your pedal down, you can really feel the pull. You can really feel how the car responds. So it's very responsive, there's no lag. I really love this car. It's really fun to toss around and everything. Another good thing about the acceleration of this car is that it's actually very linear. So you won't feel like in a typical car, CVT, ganon, you won't feel that you're gonna lose power or anything like that. You just feel the car keeps going and going and going the more you step on the pedal. Yeah. Also do note that when you're accelerating harder, you will hear the gasoline engine kick in because it needs to provide more power to the electric motor so that you don't lose charge while driving. But that's not all, because despite it being a smaller engine, it still sounds really good once it kicks in. It actually sounds like a V6 vehicle. I'm not sure if you're gonna hear it now, but let's try. It sounds really good. I really love this car. And when it comes to steering and handling, that's another really good thing about this car, because steering is very responsive. Let's compare it to the Nissan Almera, which shares a lot with this car. So that one has a certain dead spot when you steer, but this one, it feels really responsive, and the steering is very sharp as well, and you can really feel confident while driving this car. When the roads get a bit curvier, you will feel that there is very minimal body roll in this car, which is good, and you can see why, because the car is actually really low when you see it from the outside. It has a really low center of gravity, which is also really nice. And then when it comes to ride quality, another good thing about this car, because it absorbs the bumps really well. When you have larger potholes, the car doesn't bottom out. When the road imperfections, you pass by them, those random, almost hump-like parts of the road, you won't have a problem with that at all in this car. VH insulation is also another really good thing you'd expect from a car at this price, for a Japanese car at this price. And then you have a very quiet engine because it doesn't really make noise all the time. Then you have that electric motor. You'd expect to hear more of the road noise, wind noise, but in this car, that is not the case. It's actually really quiet, especially when the road is asphalt. And also, wind noise only comes in at higher speeds. But the only thing that I think could be improved is when you're idling, because the engine will make itself known when it does activate. So you will really hear it, and sometimes it doesn't sound that nice, if I'm being honest, but still, it's still really quiet when you're moving. And then of course, the most important part of having this kind of car is fuel economy, because we don't consume that much. So like I mentioned in my video of the first look of the Nissan Kicks, the VL, when we drove it from Manila to Bicol, I was able to average 25.67 kilometers per liter during that very long drive. This time I was driving a bit more calm. The computer said I was doing 30 kilometers per liter, and I think we can still achieve more than that. Lastly, whichever variant you get for the Kicks, you do get the e-pedal step. It's not the e-pedal you find the Leaf, but the e-pedal step. And the difference of this one is that it doesn't actually bring the car to a complete stop when you let go of the pedal. But the good thing about it is that it adds convenience, especially since you're only driving the car using one pedal. So you don't need to put your foot on the brake and then transfer it to the accelerator, then put it on the brake again. So that's really convenient, and it really helps to reduce driver fatigue, and it also works really well while driving in the city. So is the Nissan Kicks a good choice in the segment or in the market in general? And I think yes, definitely, especially considering the fact that it provides an electrified drive, and then the fact that it's more affordable than buying an electric car, let's say the Nissan Leaf. And then another good thing about it is that you don't get the range anxiety that you have to worry about when it comes to electric vehicles, especially here in the Philippines, where we still don't have the charging infrastructure that we could really use for our electric vehicles. So in this case, you just have to go to the gas station, fuel up, and the engine will charge itself for you. And then what really stands out about this car is the way it drives. It may not have the best interior. Well, it looks really good on the outside, but what really stands out for this is the drive, which I think is the best in the segment for sure. And Nissan did a really good job with this.